Hello guys, Nick here from Small Town Johnstown Podcast, telling you that this will again be a 2-point series about my special day, my big day, going to State College and watching number 3 Penn State versus number 4 Ohio State, while also stopping and seeing College Game Day and Jason Kelsey. Now you are listening to part 1 of my great big day. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys will enjoy part 2 that comes out next week.
Thank you for tuning in again to the Small Town Johnstown podcast. This week, Nick is going to be talking about his experience at a very, very important event. The most intense event, I think, to ever have faced the earth.
Don't say that now. Relax.
You know how sports fans go crazy. Well, Nicholas finally got to participate in real life at one of the biggest
Events of the year?
matchups of the year.
For college football.
For college football, that is. So, if you want to go ahead and just start off about, how you found out about the event, how you got the tickets, and, what about it about Ohio State instead of Penn State is so important and made you want to go?
So growing up, and still to this day, I am a huge, and forever will be, a huge Ohio State fan.
But why?
So when I was the young age of 11, I don't know if I wanted to get into sports. I just wanted to get into football. I had nothing to do. I was bored. I was like, I'm going to start watching football.
I'm going to make this my personality now.
Yeah, pretty much. And the first football game I can remember voluntarily picking and choosing was number 1 Ohio State versus number 2 Michigan in 2006 at the Shoe in Columbus, Ohio. It was Troy Smith, Ted Ginn, Beanie Wells, and that great Ohio State team versus Chad Henne, Mike Hart, and I don't know who the receivers were. Jake Long led Michigan Wolverines with some great defenders. And Ohio State won in a very close game. I think 49-42 was the score. And I was just like, I'm going to root for whoever is the winner of this game.
The winner.
Yep. And it was the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Determine your team for the rest of eternity.
Pretty much. And one of the most memorable moments of watching, it was a classic game. And it just helped me fall in love with college football even more, and just the atmosphere and the fans rushing the field and holding a pre-print newspaper saying Ohio State's number 1 BCS national championship bound, Big Ten champs, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And my family was not a football family, especially college football family growing up. So I didn't even really know Penn State existed.
Of course not. You just found out where it was.
Yeah, shut up. Or who they were. So if that was the normal case, probably would have been a Penn State fan. But I just didn't know they were at the time.
They were the ripe age of 11. You just
the
didn't know
ripe age.
better.
I was just getting
It's
into
okay.
sports.
Yeah.
So then, after all that, I was just an Ohio State fan forever, I said, I'm pick this team, and I picked them. I mean, there's been, it's weird in college sports, I'm Ohio State through and through, but usually so in the college football season, if your team loses 1 or 2 games, you're pretty much, all right, BCS bowl game, here we come, Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, yada, 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 out of the championship game. So there's usually a team or two, where, all right, Ohio State, I can root for them. But then, out of the teams that are competing, there's, teams I wouldn't mind seeing win. I got tired of Alabama winning all the time with Nick Saban, so I'd root for some LSU teams because I didn't mind LSU, and I love Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and that offense was really nice. But, I'll root them for them to win the national championships or in the playoffs. But that's because it's in college football, they have different conferences, so Ohio State doesn't play LSU.
Yeah.
Most cases. So I have nothing against LSU. I'm not
they're
LSU.
your backup.
Yeah, they're not even a backup team. I don't root for them now. Whatever team isn't Ohio State or in the Big Ten or our rivals.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing win or upset, especially a big team. So Vandy upset Alabama. I kind of want to see Vandy do good this year. They're never good. So LSU's usually good. But that's because I grew up with some really cool LSU teams. But that's neither here or there. Ohio State fan through and through. Never going to change my colors.
So what made you finally decide to go to a game after all these years? You're finally actually going to go see, as a number 1 fan of Ohio State, you're actually finally going to go see them.
Well, so it happened recently. Me and my one friend Paul, who I usually do a sports show with, who I was doing a sports show with on the college radio for many years. We was talking about, because he recently got into college football, and I was like, you know what? Ohio State plays Penn State. Would you want to go there? Because for the longest time, I think I'll be able to go to a
So
college
you
football
brought it
game.
up to him? He didn't bring it up to you?
No, I think he might have brought up to, like, do you want to go? I was like, you know what? Maybe I do want to go. Because he said he went to a Penn State game before, and that's when they played Michigan.
Yeah.
And he, like, told me, like, how that's really cool, but it's a little cold. And, like, the atmosphere is really dope, and, like, the fans are really loud and into it and everything. So I was like, you know what? Penn State isn't that far away, and it's a top 5 matchup, and the tickets are only, what I thought at the time was like 160, 170. I was like, it's gonna be like 200 for the for like the tickets, and it'll be really cool to see Ohio State, and it's a top matchup, and maybe College Game Day would be there. And I was like, you know what? Let's go. I really want to go. So then I told him, like, hey, you buy the tickets, because whenever you go to a game with somebody, you just get one person to buy both tickets, so you don't have to,
that may have not been the smartest decision, considering you guys were not driving together.
Yeah, but let's just say, let's say I bought my ticket, he bought a ticket, but, like, we didn't have seats together. That's why you guaranteed seats together.
Yes, but what if he would have gotten a flat tire and couldn't make it? Then you wouldn't have been in the game.
Yeah, that would have sucked. I should probably just bought the tickets.
Now you're like, wait a minute.
I thought that when I was waiting in the stadium, like, maybe
what if
I
he
should have bought
never
the
shows
ticket.
up?
Yeah, I was like, ooh. But so then we decided to go. I Venmo'd him, not Venmo'd. Zelled him
Does it
the
matter?
cash. Yeah,
You paid him back.
so I paid him back for the tickets.
Good friend here.
Right away, make sure that you got the money back. And I was like, all right. It's like, all right, cool. I get to go to this go see Ohio State play in a top 5 matchup in one of the greatest environments in college football. I do rank Penn State up there, especially when they do the whiteouts or little events like that. It does
Them
get
fans go crazy.
really loud, really loud. Like, I knew that from that game they played against Michigan pre-COVID, and it was like they literally made, like, it impacted the offense of the Michigan Wolverines. So I was like, let's go. I'm ready to get hype. I'm ready to get down. And then I realized that College Game Day, there's a high chance it's going to be there. We beat Nebraska and Penn State beats Wisconsin because it's a top 5 matchup. They just have to go there.
Yeah. So when did you find out that they actually were going to be there? And
I think Sunday.
So after you bought the tickets, but at least like about a week before the actual game.
Yeah, about a week before the actual game. I mean, this weekend they, like, announced after College Game Day we're going to Tuscaloosa. I mean, they can kind of predetermine where they're going based off, like, I think both Alabama and LSU had a bye week. Like, we're going to Tuscaloosa or Louisiana, wherever it's at. This week, since both teams played, they had to wait to see if it was still, like, a good matchup to go to.
Yeah.
Because there were some other top 20 matchups.
So you figured they were going to be there, but there wasn't confirmed.
It wasn't confirmed until afterwards. So I was like, even though we bought tickets, I was like, let's go. College Game Day is there. I'm going to have to get up early.
Yeah, then you're going to be so much more hype.
It's going to be so much more hype. I knew it was going to be so much more busy. But
also that. So for all the people that don't watch sports, because I know I didn't watch sports before you, like, what is College Game Day about? Because for me, a football game is 2 teams, they go against each other for a few hours, and then that's it. So what's College Game Day?
So College Game Day, for those who don't watch sports, is a set of an anchor, Reese Davis, people who played or coached in college sports. So Desmond Howard, Pat McAfee, Nick Saban was the coach for Alabama, and Lee Corso, who was the coach for Indiana, Notre Dame, Florida State, a bunch of other way back in the day, pre-me.
Way back in the day.
No, it was like 70s, 50s.
That's a long time ago.
And then Kurt Herbstreit, who was a next player for Ohio State. And it's funny because if Kurt Herbstreit played for Ohio State and was an Ohio State fan, Desmond Howard was on the other side of the desk, was a cornerback or a receiver. He was a receiver for Michigan. And he won a Heisman for Michigan. Michigan versus Ohio State is one of the biggest rivalries in sports in general, not just college athletics.
Yeah.
Like Duke, North Carolina, like Dallas Eagles. And so I think it's funny how they, like, are on the same course. I mean, fans, Michigan, Ohio State, it's just like, you don't hate the person, but, you do judge them a little bit based on the team they play.
Some friendly rivalry.
Yeah, some friendly rivalries.
So basically alumni, previous players, and coaches come together and,
on a set. And then they go to, like, the biggest matchup home's campus or field. So this was at Beaver Stadium, but it was, like, really right outside the stadium.
Yeah.
Like,
So, like, what do they do other than talk sports?
They-
Like, what kind of happens every single week?
Well, they so a bunch of fans of usually the home team, but some other teams and the away team that's playing them get together and they get them hype. They get the hype at the matchup. They talk about other matchups in college football that people might be looking forward to, and the players, and kind of break down backstories of the players or the coaches, or like kind of give you a narrative for each game and each player and each some fan bases and stuff like that, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then they do like predictions and they talk about like traditions and like what the games and the rivalries mean. Like I said, some backstory, some narrative, and like the impact, like how much of fans these people are to these teams,
Yeah.
and like the reasons why they're such dedicated fans, and like just to get you hype and give a narrative, and pretty much that's it. And let's get everybody prepared for the college football week that's about to happen. Even like give predictions of like what teams might be close to upset, what teams might be able to keep it close now that there's betting in sports.
So, did they do anything else? Because there's one part in particular that I know you got to be super close to.
Oh yeah, that's a new thing that started I think last year, the year before, since Pat McAfee's been on the set, because he's more of a recent addition other than Nick Saban.
Because he was a kicker, right?
Well, he was a kicker and then he was retired, and then he has his podcast or show that he was doing on YouTube for a while, and then I think last year he joined ESPN. So, and they added him on College Game Day, which I loved, and I think he brings such an atmosphere and a personality to College Game Day. But there were some people on Twitter that didn't like his antics or whatever, and I'm just like, y'all just hating because people try to cancel Pat McAfee because he brings Aaron Rodgers to the show, and Aaron Rodgers pissed off a certain crowd of people, and so they did anything they could to try and cancel and hand the guy, but whatever. And so he does this segment where he brings on a fan to kick a football through a field goal post, because fans do like to clown field goal kickers and punters, and
they make it look so easy.
Yeah. He like if they think
the thing is like
so easy.
Freaking huge.
Yeah,
so it's like obviously you can kick a
20, 40 yard, straight
look,
through. Easy. Wind, one of that, who cares? And like people tend to hate on kickers a lot, especially when they miss field goals.
That one kid one week did hate on kickers.
yeah. And so because kickers always it's like kickers always put in big moments, or it's their one job to kick. So then when they miss it, and especially in big moments, fans just clown on them and hate them.
Yeah.
And so you got
because they have one job and they got to do it right.
Yeah. So they clown on him. So he's tired of the clowning, like I said. So he brings on a lucky fan, through a raffle, and the fan has to kick a field goal, and Pat McAfee would give them money.
How much?
And don't. I think this year he's been like, so usually it was like $75K, $50K. This year, every time somebody makes it, he doubles it the next week. So this
cool.
week was like $250,000. And this week, not only did he bring on a fan, he also brought a special guest, Jason Kelce.
And who is he?
He is a retired football player, center for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Recently retired.
Brother of Travis Kelce. I don't know if you guys know who Travis Kelce is, but he is a very popular, soon-to-be...
Also known as Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Taylor Purdy?
Stop. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl, so it will be Taylor Swift Kelce.
And... so he's the brother of Travis Kelce, who's also a professional football player.
Also the husband of Kylie Kelce.
Also
She's
the husband
iconic.
of Kylie Kelce. She's iconic in herself. As an ex-soccer player. Or was she college or was she pros?
No, I don't think she did soccer. I thought she did like lacrosse or something.
Oh, did she do lacrosse?
I think so.
A retired lacrosse player. Sorry, Kylie Kelce. I just don't watch much for women's lacrosse.
I know she was an athlete though too, so we don't want to discredit her. I just can't remember. But
we're sorry. You don't watch sports, so it's fine.
I don't watch sports, but I love her. She's so funny.
So Jason Kelce now has, him and his brother they're more personality. Well, Travis Kelce's still playing, but Jason Kelce's now more just a personality. He's on a football analyst, personality analyst for ESPN on Monday Night Football, and he has his podcast with his brother, New Heights, where they talk about just random things in the day.
Slightly more popular than our podcast.
Just a tad. Wear tight pants. And so he came on to kick. He came on to kick in Tim's. Kelce likes to wear Tim's. And I got to see him front row, right there, about as far as that wall is, or maybe a little bit farther. And
Must be
Jenny
nice.
was a little jealous.
Just a little.
I told her to come with me. I did invite her
I
to.
didn't know he'd be that close. I didn't know Jason was going to be there. It was supposed to be Donald Trump was supposed to be there. Then he canceled last minute.
Jason Kelsey was a last second kind of add on.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And I kind of lucked out in being that close because I originally wanted to go to I wanted to go to college game because it's always been my dream to go to a live college game day set on a big matchup, and I knew this was an opportunity that I may be able to experience again, but it will be years down the line, and it won't be with Ohio State, my team, and Penn State. So I knew this might be an opportunity that
You weren't going to get.
yeah, I might not get again, knowing that like I might not even have, even if it did happen again, I might not get the opportunity.
So before we get too into the kick, because we want to save the results of that, whether they made the kick or not, Jason and
Some random fan.
I think his name was Kyle or something, the fan that went on to kick. When you got there, so you had to leave at 5:30 together, because it's about an hour and a half northeast of here.
Yeah, in Altoona.
So how long did it take you to get there, get your parking spot that you paid additional for? And then where did you go? Like, and when does the game day start? Like,
Okay. So to start off the day, I woke up at 5 a.m.
well, I knew that part, but yes.
Yeah. I know, but I'm just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
Got dressed, kissed you goodnight. Not good night.
Well, it was good night, because I was back in bed.
I kissed you goodbye, and it was hard to leave you. You did look so cozy. And I was like, oh, man, it's 5 a.m.
For college game day.
For college game day. Remember the goal. And so I kissed you goodbye. And then I made sure I have everything, keys, car, a second phone, record the drive. And I stopped at Sheetz because I needed some type of
You need
coffee
some
in
kind
my
of
system.
energy.
Some type of energy. I bought a bag of chips, yet they still have eaten. And so then I drove, and it took me, I left at 5:48. I left Sheetz, and I got to State College area at, I would say, 7:11-ish.
Okay.
And
Not too
then,
bad.
Not too bad. Not about the hour.
Were you speeding?
Yeah. No, was not speeding. Went a little bit slower because it was dark and there's deer in this area, so I'm
Yeah.
not trying to. Of all the things that would cancel me from going, be me running to a stinking deer.
So you got
And
there.
because it's the hunting season too. Okay, but yeah. So I got to State College, and there was
Just a little bit of traffic.
just a tad. So it's like, oh, you'll get to this part, because I just put the street. I didn't put like the lot because
Yeah.
it was weird. The lot doesn't have an address. So then I was like, oh, you'll get the street around 7:11. So I got the street and it was 8:00. And then so it went.
So about 40, 50
So
minutes
what
of
is
traffic.
usually what is usually a probably, I would say, 10 to 15 minute from off the exit to that street was an hour of bumper to bumper traffic, and I thought I left early. And so then I got to the one street to get to the parking spot. So the parking spot probably, it's just up the street, literally just up the street, probably 5 minutes. That took 40 minutes.
An additional 40 minutes.
An additional 40
That's
minutes. So it was
crazy.
8:40-ish, 8:30-ish when I
So
parked.
like an hour and a half of traffic, probably.
Hour and a half of traffic, yes.
From the exit
From
to
the exit
the parking
to
spot.
yeah, it was, because there's 2 lanes of traffic going to one street, and there's no
Yeah,
stop
and they
sign.
gotta take turns and
Yeah,
do
yeah. I
all
hope
that.
they take
So you
turns.
finally park. Where do you go? What do you do? Because you're
So,
by yourself at this point.
I'm by myself, so I finally park, and I was like, I see other people just walk up this hill. I was like, all right, walking up the hill.
Follow the group.
Follow the group.
Follow the herd.
And then it led to another parking spot, bunch of people tailgating. Bunch of people just having tents up, brewskis, breakfasties,
I'm gonna say breakfasties,
breakfasties,
drinking and
drinking the eggs.
8:30 in the
8:30 in the morning. And I'm like, I get a part up, so I'm like, I asked like, college game day, go that way. Okay. And I just asked people that, do you know where college game day is? Yep, go that way. And I asked a staff member, do what college game day is? Like, yep, go kind of around the
you
stadium.
just have to ask people so you know where the heck you're going.
Around the stadium, you'll see those little things that they do for construction. I forgot what they're called. I was like, all right. So I kept going. And then like, oh, okay, I see where college game is. But it's a walk. It was like a 20 20-minute walk. And I get there, and it's about everything that I mean. I'm on the side, so I couldn't get kind of. It was kind of a blessing that worked out. Everything worked out. So I get to the side, which is really cool, and like you see. Pat, I was there about 10 minutes, 20 minutes early. So I saw, they introduced all the people coming in, like the hosts as they came in.
Because College Game Day starts on TV at like 9, right?
Yeah, College Game Day starts on TV at 9
I had it on at 9 o'clock, and I was like, oh, just in time.
Yeah.
And Nick left 4 hours ago.
Exactly. So I get the little corner, and I could see like the background of like the people and the fans and the people getting hyped. Pat McAfee did his thing. He did the "We Are Penn State" chant and gave like a little background of like the Penn State's history and like got the crowd going, and that was really cool just to be in that moment and to see like these fans just go crazy and be on TV, and it's something I've always wanted to do since I was a little kid. Since I first started watching, well, yeah, but like just to see College Game Day live since I was first started watching. Like, this looks like an amazing experience. And it was just a hype experience. Everything I dreamed of. Even if I wasn't in front row, holding the sign up, whatever.
I love the signs. That's my favorite part.
Next time I'm gonna bring a sign. I thought of it last night. It's like, oh no, I forgot to make a sign.
Like that kid the night before their school project. I need all this.
Yeah. Michael's, is it still open? It's 1 a.m.
I was like, Nicholas, no. You should make a sign next time.
So, but it was everything I wanted. And I'm happy that I kind of got the side because I got to join I'm a Ohio State fan. I'm not trying to die. But I got to see kind of how they run it.
Like the production of it.
The production of it, yeah. Like how the camera guy like was talking to the people in the front to like, hey, I'm going to shoot you guys. I need you guys to get hype, and like kind of giving them like instructions a little bit.
Which is cool. Like we love that because that's what we went to school for is media. So we love seeing the background of like how production is set up, the camera work, the audio setup.
Like the audio, how what they do in between commercials and everything.
Yeah, because you obviously don't get to see that. So that was probably cool.
That was really cool, and I was happy I got to see like the beginning. I sang the College Game Day theme song with well, we're coming to your city, and I was really hyped, and like they did the whoa, and like just that whole like the crowd going off. It was crazy.
Just everyone's on the same level of energy.
Yeah, everyone's just on the same level of energy.
Versus you and me on the couch. I'm like, yeah, let's go. The song's on.
The song's on, singing along. It's going crazy. Like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Like just to see and feel that energy, it's just like a rock concert, and that's before the game started. This is at 9 a.m. People are
way
screaming
too early to
at
be
the top of their lungs.
And I know, because when you came back, I could tell your voice was gone.
Yeah. And they're like blasting like music that was really like Shike Wallace and all that. It was like a hype. It was like a rave at like 9 a.m.
That's crazy.
And people were just going crazy insane.
I can only imagine.
So then, once it was about like I mainly just wanted to be there for the beginning, like where they get the people hyped and they play the Lions and everything. After that, it's like, all right, I'm not like this. So is just.
How did you then drift your way over to the field goal, the kicking station?
I'm getting there because those are events before that.
Really?
Yeah, because then like I remember Paul saying he's gonna be there around 9:30ish. So I was like, oh okay.
And Paul was not there around 9:30.
Spoiler. Also, Penn State. No good phone service.
Yeah.
No service.
Yeah, our boss had, my boss had texted about that and give us good warning.
And I'm like trying to call him like while I'm at College Game Day and text him. It's like, nah, I don't deliver. So I'm like, oh crap. So I kind of like walked around and I saw like this
fighting to get service. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw these people have a TV and I was like, oh, hey, how do you guys get service? And he told me like, oh, whatever the little move along service thing is. So I asked, he thankfully gave me, let me get his Wi-Fi real quick. So I texted Paul. And called me and said, yeah, I'm still going to be like another 25 minutes, 30 minutes because I got to find parking. I said, all right, no problem. So then I was like, I sent my location. I told him like, hey, look for the College Game Day set when you get here and we'll tailgate, whatever. I'm like near that area. So I was like, well, I got another 25, 30 minutes. I'm not trying to stand next to this guy's tailgate that I have no idea who the heck they are and just some random dude.
Could have went and joined my boss's family,
But I was like, but then like, I don't know how far your boss's family is. I guess they had Wi-Fi, but I wasn't thinking that at the moment.
You were in survival mode.
Yeah, I don't know how far. Like, I was like, this guy's the tickets. We ain't got no service.
Yeah.
We gotta meet up somehow.
You gotta meet up with
I'm
them.
not trying to go too far from where I
Yeah.
said I was.
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, you know what? I'll just go back to College Game Day. And I was walking up, and I see they had the field, because I was looking for it earlier. I was like, oh, were they on the field goal? Where are they doing that? They're doing it in another area?
Yeah.
But I saw that they did have the field goal part set up. I was like, oh, okay. And I saw that there wasn't many people there. And so I go on the side. I'm like, this is a little crowded. They're probably going to do the field goal thing soon. And I don't know why there's nobody there, but I'll go there.
Yeah.
So then I was able to pretty much go right there, like front row. There was like people in front of me, but I was right behind them.
You were front row.
I was pretty much front row, and then I just watched College Game Day from there because it was kind of cool to see even more of behind the scenes stuff, like the people going in and out, and like the host doing their thing, and the camera guy and everything. So that's even more cool, and like how like they have it all set up in the back and protect the scenes. I mean, there's some people talking behind me about like stuff like that, so kind of a little bit annoying, but I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And the people in front of me are really nice. Everybody's kind of crowded, and like you kind of
Yeah,
bump up to people, and it's like
squished
you're like,
together.
I'm sorry to meet above that. Don't worry about it. It's cool. I'm like, all right, cool. Okay, guys, that was part 1 of my special day at College Station, where I got to see Penn State versus Ohio State. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you look forward to part 2 of my special day and Jenny's continuing conversation with me about that day. Thank you guys very much. Have a good day. Thank you for tuning in to Small Town Johnstown podcast. I'm Nick, and goodbye.